Welcome to the Tricktrades trade recap and lesson. Today we are going to be discussing hedging and kind of hedging opportunities, when to hedge a position. So let's go into the charts. Traded SPY long and Q short. So let's take a look at the daily chart and where we were here this morning. So we have ripped up since the election. It is pulled back, and we are still kind of in this holding pattern. We are nicely bull flagging. We're pulling back, which is a sign of strength on the daily, but it is quite extended. And prior to the market open, so right before the market open, SPY was above the previous close. That's a showing of strength, right? Qs right before the open, we open up below the previous close, which is showing a weakness. So you have one stock that's strong, one stock that's weak. And we have a really nice setup long. So we open up, we dip into the previous close for the long. And then on Qs, we have a nice shorting setup, a nice short setup because it's weak. Opens up, pops into the previous close underneath. So one test support, one test resistance. And if you wait and you control your entries, you're going to have perfect entries on both of those positions and with very minimal risk. So on SPY, like I said, took it long. As it opens up, kind of dips back, start into that position, pay myself as it pushes back up into these highs. Not a huge trade. And then once it confirms that weakness, it breaks, I get out, still locking in $565 on that trade. And then Qs was a little nicer. So let's go to Qs. So on Q, I'll try and zoom in here. I got to reset these charts so it zooms in quicker. So just bear with me for a sec. Come on. Okay, so you can see the entries a little bit better, but market opens up, it pops into the previous close. That's the first entry. It pulls back that little bit. I pay myself. So entry, pay myself, pops back up, continuing to work that position as it kind of pops through, but does not confirm strength. That's where I get an add, kind of add into that. And then that is the main position that I work pretty much all the way through, except for that last wash. Hit my target on that. Really, really nice. Locking in $12,400 on this trade. Nice follow through. Premium absolutely exploded. Very nice. But now so those are the trades, but let's talk about hedging. So a lot of people want to hedge positions and they'll just kind of enter in willy-nilly, kind of however, whatever on the long and however, whatever on the short. It's not how you do it. You really need to be patient and wait for those proper entries on this, or you're going to have major problems. And what ends up happening is because you're entered into two positions at once, you're going to get spooked out because you're going to look over at your P&L, being an emotional trader, and what's going to happen is it'll come down into a level. It won't quite break it. It hasn't confirmed yet. And you're going to take that position off just for it to come back up. So that's going to be a loss. And then because it's taken its true direction of, let's say, up instead of down, now you're out on the short as well. And you're out on the long. And it creates these two losses that if you were just more patient in these trades and you were more patient for your entries to give yourself the best odds of success, your best average, then you're going to be set up. So it's really about being patient. Hedging is something that is not a beginner level or even novice level type of trade. You really need to be in that intermediate to professional level, or you're going to struggle with it. And intermediate, like, let's talk about that maybe before I wrap this up. What's a beginner trader, a novice trader, an intermediate trader, and a professional trader? There's kind of four steps. And there's more steps, but those are like the four basic ones. A beginner is a trader that does not have any emotional control. There's no consistency and lots of struggles. A novice trader is starting to work on a lot of those initial hurdles. Okay. So maybe they have their entries down, but they're still working on exits, something along those lines. And then your intermediate is where you have a lot of these things tackled. You're not fully there, but you're there. So an intermediate trader knows how to manage positions. They know how to enter in, where to average in, how to average in. They know how to read price action, right? They can read that little bit of a volume profile and all of that. They have their emotions for the most part under control. And a professional is obviously someone that has all of the above, checks all the boxes, has been doing this a very long time. There's a lot of people that consider themselves professional or even intermediate traders that have been doing this for like a year, and that's not possible. You're not a professional after a year, no matter what level of consistency you have. It takes a long time to be able to check all the boxes of those things that I just talked about. So I always like to ask the question when new members come into Trick Trades, and I like to ask them, where do you think you are, right? And a lot of them will say they'll put themselves in that intermediate. Oh, I know how to trade, and then give them a week or two in Trick Trades, and then they realize maybe they didn't know as much as they thought they knew, right? But it's about resetting, not lying to yourself, being honest, and knocking yourself down, getting rid of that ego, really knocking yourself down a peg, because that's the only time that we can truly grow as traders, is when we start from where we are actually as traders, not where we think we are or what our ego tells us where we are, where we truly are. And you really need to, that's why we work so much on this channel with emotions and mentality and all of that, because that's what this really boils down to. It's a battle against yourself. It's not you against the market or anything else. The market's the easy part. Where to enter, how to manage trades. It's all the easy part, man. It's what goes on up here that keeps us from actually being able to manage and work these trades. So, on that note, folks, I know I rambled a little bit and we got off topic, but that's okay. I hope you guys all have a wonderful evening. And if you want to learn and actually become a professional trader to get to that real, true professional level, intermediate and professional level, come to tricktrades.com and we'll get you all squared away. Adios, folks.